dear colleagues, honorable guests, it's a pleasure to be here today. Apologies for the late arrival. Despite other engagements, I insisted on being with you here today because I believe this is a very important subject for development, not only for the higher education system of our country and all the countries around the Mediterranean, but even for the development of our societies. Engineers play a fundamental role in development. And I think Korea had 4,000 engineers in 1970 and around 14,000 in 1980 and 80,000 in 1990. And basically, if you plot GDP and the number of engineers, you find a very close correlation, offset by a few years. It's not necessarily conclusive, of course. Correlation does not imply causation necessarily, but it is evident that engineers play an important role in development. And in the recent meeting, the Dialogue 5+5 member countries, one of the key issues, the key elements of the declaration, the ministerial declaration, was to encourage collaboration, in particular in accreditation and quality assurance. So you guys are a little bit ahead of the ministers, because I think you started this probably before the meeting that happened a few weeks ago. Right? So it's very important. I think for Tunisia in particular, accreditation and rising up to the international level of quality and best practice in governance of higher education, the quality of training is very important. And I think that engineers, being an engineer myself, and then moved into a little bit public governance, engineers do have the training that enable them actually to lead reforms. In my view, I hope the president are not here, so that my colleagues in government do not take offense. They do. They should be probably, engineers and engineering schools should be probably the first to take up this challenge and reform themselves and reach basically the best standards of training. And I think the challenge today is probably for the countries of the South is kind of probably more significant than our neighbors in the North, because we do have the need to kind of catch up with best practices in training and curriculum development and so on, but at the same time try to integrate these new trends in terms of pedagogy. We hear about problem-based learning, problem-based approaches, and studies show today that innovation is also correlated with multidisciplinary work. Research is very multidisciplinary. Engineers are required, when they do their job, to not only have the core skills in terms of rigor and theory and practical skills, but also managerial skills of people management, project management, and also understanding the wide reaching implications of the projects they're involved in terms of sustainability and development, and also have an increased sense of awareness in terms of also ethical responsibility. So it makes the challenge of developing a curriculum for engineers a difficult task. Technology is moving quickly. We are accumulating knowledge at a fast pace. Students, and I was a few years ago teaching engineering schools, are having shorter and shorter attention spans. They prefer watching YouTube than sitting in class to understand a physical phenomenon. It makes it very difficult to engage students. Some universities are moving towards these experiential learning modes and trying to kind of student-centered learning. But it is, I think, in my view, still a challenge to balance the curriculum between these new kind of innovations which seem to have a lot of merit with basically the core elements of theory and practical training that is required to train an engineer. So I think for us it's very important for our engineering schools in Tunisia, in the south, and also in collaboration with our friends around the Mediterranean to basically make quick progress on this, because I think we have lost some time, and today basically we're facing increased stress on public finances. The public is demanding quality and returns from the higher education system as a whole. They want to make sure that the investment they have basically put in our higher education systems does lead to measurable results in terms of actual impact on development, actual impact in terms of the quality of the graduates we produce. At the same time, we have also a trend of growing presence of private schools in engineering and various subjects, which also make quality assurance and accreditation a very important topic. And I think that the tradition, I think, you know, I think CTE and the European accreditation are maybe more than 50, 60 years old, I think, some of them. So I think we can benefit from the experience of our neighbors and also North America, AIGET and others, to basically pull together our experiences and our expertise to make sure that we rise to this challenge and make sure we can produce tomorrow the engineers that we may need to play the fundamental role that society expects from them in a changing world, in a world where basically everything needs to be rethought, basically sustainability, climate change, circular economy. Everything basically requires us to rethink our industrial processes, our agricultural processes. Every single sector is required to basically switch path, because the path on which we are on right now is not sustainable. And at the same time, we have a rapid change in terms of societal progress and evolution, and which makes every actor in society, a student, a professor, one of them, being part of them, also required to adapt also to new modes in terms of teaching, interaction, and multidisciplinary work. So I think it's very important. I'm very happy that we're hosting this meeting, and I hope that it will be the first step in the journey that we will basically share together to make sure we can prepare our youth to the challenges of the 21st century in our country and in the region as a whole. So I welcome you again in Tunisia for our guests, and I wish all the participants a very productive